Bula, Vinaka. Greetings to you all from the Fiji Mission Education Department. I would like to share with you the tale of two schools. The experiences we encounter in these two schools summarizes the challenges facing Adventist education in Fiji. We have numerous challenges in the mission, and in a nutshell, this may be summarized as a threefold challenge. One, the matter regarding enhancing Adventist distinctiveness in our schools. Number two, our schools should emphasize the fact that they are discipleship learning centers. And number three, there is a great need for committed Adventist teachers and leaders. Now let's go to the first school. Watuvonu Adventist College. Right now we are facing an identity crisis in this institution. That's our challenge today. Adventist education is under attack. In the past 4 years, our church have requested the Ministry of Education to appoint SDA teachers, those that are willing to teach at Watuvonu. But these requests and appeals have not been accepted. So the new heads of school took charge, despite the fact that the church requested the Ministry of Education to appoint a principal who will be paid by the church. This was not accepted to the Ministry of Education. The church maintains its principal stand that the head of school in all our Adventist institutions must be an Adventist. So in April last year, the government took the Seventh-day Adventist Church to the High Court. This is to try and settle the dispute on the appointment of a non-SDA as the head of school at Watuvonu. In April 2019, the government took the SDA Church to the High Court due to the dispute on the appointment of a non-SDA head of school. The decision was in favor of the SDA Church. The Ministry of Education then appealed the decision at the Court of Appeals on February this year. The case was heard by a panel of 3 judges, and unfortunately the main judge passed away in April this year, and we are still waiting the outcome of the court hearing. In the meantime, Watuvonu continues to operate under the SDA Church Board of Management, but still with the Ministry of Education appointed head of school, a non-SDA and 21 non-SDA teachers. The second school, I take you to Navisau Adventist High School, the newly privatized school. The Fiji Mission took an action in August of 2018 to begin the work of privatizing its schools from the start of 2019 school year. So Navisau, with the theme Something Better, commenced operating as a private church institution from January 2019 with 230 students from year 9 to 13 and a workforce of 18 teachers and 7 auxiliary staff, all of whom are SDAs and appointed by the church. Their salary and wages are paid by the Fiji Mission with funds generated from school fees, industries, and donations. As an independent school, Navisau offers a holistic Christian Adventist education with a strong emphasis in the integration of faith and learning in its all-round education program, the physical, the social, academic, and spiritual development. The school has a roll of 250 students this year, 2020. Fellow education directors and leaders, these two schools prominently illustrates the two pathways in education that is open to our church members in Fiji. One, Watuvonu, clearly demonstrates the challenges, the frustrations, and the disillusionment that the Fiji mission faces with the Fiji Government Ministry of Education, with its emphasis on secularism and control, while the other highlights the freedom and the joy of engaging in the process of service of true education, with eternity the ultimate reward. As we end this brief report, I wish to highlight the 4 major challenges Adventist education is facing in this mission. Number 1, our Adventist education distinctiveness. We are seeing the gradual weakening and erosion of the special character of Adventist education due to the strong influence of secularism and worldliness creeping into our system of education. Number 2, the challenge of having our schools as a discipleship center. The lack or the loss of patriotism, commitment, and Adventism spirit in our schools and Adventist community, that schools are discipleship centers and agencies for training and nurturing of God's kingdom. Number 3, our needs for qualified Adventist teachers and leaders. We have major concerns and challenges with a number of non-SDA teachers, especially in our high schools, and the tertiary training that they acquired by the majority of them from non-SDA institutions. Finally, number 4, the absence of autonomous authority by the church. Since teachers are paid by the Ministry of Education and schools receive government grants, our Adventist education system has in some ways become subservient to the piper who calls the tune in many aspects of governance, including management and staffing of our schools. This has also developed an attitude of them and us, and also between the Ministry of Education and the church. These challenges are not new, dear folks. They have been raised before. The question to us as leaders is, how do we work together to find the solution for our members and our children who deserve something better? We certainly do not want the government, through their Ministry of Education and its secular influence, to routinely carry on like business as usual, making those lasting impact in the lives of our students, in our schools day by day. What does this mean for us in Fiji? Number 1, we request the assistance of our leaders at the Union, the South Pacific Division, at Fulton College and PAU, to again please consider the plight of our schools, especially secondary schools, to have more teachers rightly trained and thoroughly furnished with the distinctive tenets of Adventist education from our own church institution. And number 2, Fiji Mission has begun a task of gradually privatizing all its schools. This is a daunting task, a real challenge, and it requires the united, concerted efforts of the church, community, parents, and leaders. We need to get back to the blueprint in Christian education. I conclude with the words of Pastor Ted Wilson, the world president of the SDA Church, who stated not long ago, Adventist schools today must regain and maintain our focus on mission. Adventist education is an evangelistic arm of the Adventist Church. It is evangelism. Our number 1 goal should be to see our children in a personal relationship with Jesus and to help them learn to share that relationship with others. Thank you, dear colleagues. It's my prayer that the Lord will grant His blessings as we continue in ministry, wherever we may be serving in our education system throughout the Pacific, to do what we have been asked to do, to bring about the true education in all our schools throughout the Pacific. God bless you.